Hey, good morning, guys. How you doing today? Hope your night is doing great. So it's almost 8 a.m. here in Houston, Texas. So it's my morning work, and feel free to tell me your name and the city you're joining from, and please share this video. It's 8 days to the Business Growth Conference here in Houston, Texas. And I hope you've gotten your tickets. I hope to see you. This morning I want to talk about you don't grow big to manage well. You manage well to grow big. You don't grow big to manage well. You manage well to grow big. This is one of the biggest issue I've always seen when it comes to entrepreneurship. I meet business owners and they're telling me, oh, if only I can grow big. Okay? And what they mean is, if only I can get a big capital, my business will do better. If only I can make more money, my business will do better. And I don't think so. Each time I've had challenges in businesses that I own, I go back to management. In fact, I've had situations where businesses that I founded were in trouble, and I start series of conferences, series of workshops, series of trainings with the team, and some of them get upset and be like, hey, why is our chairman just training us? And the answer is this. I want everybody to write it down. Okay? This is a very powerful thing. Always get direction before speed. Direction before speed. Direction before speed. Everybody can type it. Direction before speed. So you see, businesses struggle because there's no proper management. And part of the advantages, or how you know you have a proper management, is that you now have a clear-cut direction. Where are we going? You stop depleting your energy. You stop wasting your energy, right? You have a clear-cut focus as to where exactly you're going, how you're turning the business around, direction. So it's not money that you need. It's management that you need. Is effective management of even that which you have, right? And part of the effective management of that which you have is giving yourself a clear-cut direction of the future, of how you want to proceed, of what direction is your business needing to take, what direction do your life need to take, how do you best channel your energy, how do everybody in your organization need to channel their energy. For example, AI is taking over the world. It's taking over businesses. Businesses that ignore AI will soon be out of business. Okay, so if you, as a founder of a business, don't sit up and begin to give your business an AI direction, okay, an AI direction, you will soon realize that you will soon lose the business entirely, because you will soon be out of business. Many years ago, a man by the name Bill Gates, I don't know if you remember him, said, very soon every house will have a computer. I will never forget how ridiculous that statement sounds, because as at the time I first heard this, we didn't even have a computer in my house. And then here was a man saying the whole world, every house in the world, good morning, that every house in the world is going to have a computer. I didn't believe it didn't just even sound sensible. But today, that has become the story. So write this down, and I want everybody to type this. The best way to predict the future is to create it. Let me say that again. The best way to predict the future is to create it. Don't go about living your life saying that, well, nobody knows the future. No, why not create the future? Okay? You have what it takes to create the future that you desire. My life today is a function of the future I created. Okay? I created. Now, did I consult God? Yes, I did, because He's my maker. But I looked inwards and said, what is the future I desire? Right? What's the future I want? I want a future where I can live anywhere in the world. Those were the things I had down. I wanted a future where anywhere in the world that I go, I am still going to be among the richest. Anywhere in the world. I wanted a life where I could do business anywhere in the world. Okay? I wanted a life where I could travel all over the world and share what I know. That was the future. And I created it. Okay? I prayed about it. I worked hard. But it was my decision. So I want you to type in the comment section. What is the future you see concerning that business? You as a founder, what's the future that you see? Right? What's the future? Now, knowing that AI is taking over everything, what is the future? Don't fold your hands and say, well, who knows? Who knows what will happen? No. You right here, you can type, this is the future I want to see. All right? I have made up my mind. I want to build a multi-billion-dollar real estate empire. But now it's changing to multi-billion-dollar empire here in the US, aside the ones we're doing in other parts of the world. Okay? Now I've said it. That's what I want to see. Why are you scared to say yours? And that's really where the problem is. When you're scared to even predict the future you desire, you're scared to speak about what you want to see. Okay? You're scared. To even say, this is the future I want. This is the future of my business. Then there's a problem. And we go back to the conversation today. Remember, our talk today is that you don't grow big to manage well. You manage well to grow big. And what that means is that from where you are, you need to manage, then growth will then come. So I want to share 3 things to manage. Okay, if you want to grow big. 3 things to manage to grow big in your business. Are you ready? If you're ready, type I'm ready, I'm ready. Remember, share this video. Invite more people to join us in this conversation. It's my morning work here in Houston. It's morning anyway. So share and invite more people to join. 3 things to manage, okay, as regards your business. The first thing to manage as a founder of a business, as a CEO of a business, even if you didn't found the business, but you're in charge of that business today, is your tongue. Everybody type, manage your tongue. Manage your tongue. I have mentored entrepreneurs. I've also started businesses where I had to use my tongue to say what I want to see and not what I was saying. Right? So I've come to a team where they're not selling, everything is struggling, and I use my tongue to say this will be the best month ever. This company is turning around. This company is making money. These companies will succeed. And I started using my tongue to say what I want to see and know where I was and know what I was saying. So you don't grow big to manage well, you manage well to grow big. But the first thing you want to manage well, if you grow big, is your tongue. What do you say about your business? What are you saying about your future? What are you saying about the company that you currently manage? Manage your tongue, right? Many of us have been accustomed to saying what we're saying, right? If things are bad, and I catch myself messing up at times too. I catch myself sometimes also saying what is currently going on. And I'm always forcing myself to remind myself to say, no, we don't say what we're seeing. We say what we want to see, right? We don't speak about what we are seeing, right? Faith, we say, hello, how are you? So we call those things that be not as though they were. Okay? We call those things that be not as though they were. Good morning. We call those things that be not as though they were. That's who we are. So the things we haven't seen yet, we begin to call them forth. 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 Manage your tongue, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to grow big. Begin to say what you want to see. Things are always going to be tough. Yes, I mean, in this world, there are going to be many troubles. But manage your tongue. Everybody type, I will manage my tongue. I want everybody to type in the comment section, I will manage my tongue. You know, I'm sure some of you had expected me to say, manage your employees. Some of you have expected me to say, manage your money first. The first thing to manage, if you want to grow big, is your tongue. If your tongue can constantly keep saying it, you come to the office and say, we are going to be the biggest, in this field in the next 5 years. And everybody's looking at you and says, something must be wrong with you because we're still owing, we haven't paid all our bills, and this man is stuck in rubbish. I used to have people mock me years ago, right? I was in university, I had just 2 clothes, I had just 1 suit that has faded. And I would say to them, I said, look at me. I'm not just going to be rich, I'm going to be very rich. And they will laugh, Some will chuckle, right? Some will be like, oh Lord, this guy, all this motivational thing has twisted his head. Okay? But I kept saying what I wanted to see. Small, we're seeing those things now. Okay? Manage your tongue if you want to grow big. Don't grow big to manage well. You manage well to grow big. Number 2 things you must manage if you're going to grow big. Your business, your career, whatever it is that you want to grow big. Because what we're talking about this morning is you don't grow big to manage well. You manage well to grow big. The second thing you must manage is your relationships. Manage your relationships. Not everybody deserves the quality of time that you currently spend. I don't discriminate. People who know me know this. If I don't live my life based on who he is he rich, is he poor? Because to be honest, those who know me, I don't beg for money, and I don't live my life such that I'm trying to get from people. Any relationship I get into, I'm all willing to put into that relationship first before even asking for anything. However, there are certain toxic relationships that are just not good for you, right? That just wouldn't help you. And you must face those honest reality. You must face those honest reality that some relationships have to be gone. Some of you don't like those words, but hey, that's also why you are not where you want to be financially. You must manage your relationships. You must do friendship audit. You must audit your relationship on a regular basis. So this relationship that I have, is it positive? Is it negative? Right? Is it value adding or is it value deducting? This relationship that I have, okay, do I have positive energy around that person? How many of you have had people that when you are with them, it's just as if all your problem goes away. Like it's not like they give you money, but just being around them, there's just something special. Come on, talk to me. You can type if you've had such a relationship. I want to hear your feedback. How many of you have relationships where when you're with them, it's like something, and I'm not talking of sexual relationship. I'm not talking about with the opposite sex, right? I'm just saying relationship, just normal friendship, business friendship, schoolmates, church colleague, you attend same church or mosque or whatever, right? But there are certain people you are just around and things just shift on your inside. The environment just gets so positively charged, right? It's almost as if the challenges you have been facing just disappear being around such people. And that's what I'm talking about. Manage your relationship. Of all the problems you have, you can add relational one to it, right? Relational drama. You can add it to it. And we all go through a lot of challenges in life and business. So to add relational drama, right? Somebody who is just toxic, negative in their words, never say anything positive. They're the ones who like to gossip all the time. Now, how many of you have been around people that if you spend 1 hour with them, the entire conversation is about other people? Can you just say, we've all had it, so none of you should come and be pretending here. How many of you have had relationships where even if it's 1 hour you spend with this relationship, the conversation will be about gossiping about other people? It will be about cho. Did you know what happened to this one? Do you know this one is this? Do you know what happened to that one? Are you hearing about what's going on here? It's just going to be all about gossip. So I want you to write this down. And please, you can type it in the comment section and put it somewhere you will never forget. Never forget. Poor people talk about other people. Poor people talk about other people. Rich people talk about things. Rich people talk about things. What do I mean? Rich people talk about their cars, their wristwatches, how is Rolex. They talk about their houses, the beautiful house they have, and so on and so forth. Now hear this. Wealthy people, I hope you know there's a difference between rich people and wealthy people. Now wealthy people talk about ideas. You see the difference? I'll go again. Poor people talk about other people. Rich people talk about things. Wealthy people talk about ideas. And you see, ideas rule the world. Ideas rule the world. Okay? So when we say manage your relationship, there are certain relationships you know when you are with them, nothing positive. Right? Just talking about people, other people. Maybe if you both are rich, you talk about your cars, you talk about all of that. But you will know you are talking to a wealthy man when the conversation is about ideas. It's about possibilities. Right? It's about opportunity. It's about things, new business opportunity. It's about new opportunity to change the world. It's about causes that will impact the world. Poor people talk about other people. Rich people talk about things. Wealthy people talk about ideas. Can everybody type it quickly? I want every one of you to type this because you see, when you type like this, it sticks better. There's a reason why you see me say type it. Type it. What you type sticks. And you need to take this seriously because you need to keep reminding yourself over and over and over and over and over and over. Right? You need to keep reminding yourself. If you don't, it's gonna really haunt you. So everybody type it. Someone say idea. I didn't say type ideas. I said this is what you need to type. Poor people talk about people. Rich people talk about things. Wealthy people talk about ideas. That's the quote I want you to write. Poor people talk about people. Rich people talk about things. Wealthy people talk about ideas. So everybody type that sentence. I'll repeat the sentence again. Okay? Poor people talk about people. Rich people talk about things. Wealthy people talk about ideas. That's what I want you all to type. Okay? And why you need to stick this so that you keep reminding yourself is that when you are talking with people, so-called friends, you'll be able to keep reminding yourself to say, are we talking about other people here? Are we talking about things? Or are we talking about ideas? Now, There are times where you are in a conversation, and yes, you may need to talk about your friends, something, so you may need to talk about, oh, this person is getting married, or this is happening. Yeah, that's okay. And sometimes, oh, I just bought a new house. That's okay. But how you will know you are with a wealthy person, okay? The conversation will include and largely include ideas, largely include possibilities, largely include conversations around changing the world, conversations around starting something new, something great, visions. I've met several wealthy people in my life, and we're just talking about ideas. We're not talking, oh, yeah, now let me ask you a question. Between a poor person and a wealthy person, who talks more about money? Okay, I'll ask you a question again. From your experience, right, and I would like to see your feedback. From your experience of the people you've met, between poor people and wealthy people, who talks more about money? Right? Between poor people and wealthy people, who talks more about money? I want to see the answer. Okay, between poor people and wealthy people, who talks more about money? So it's our world says poor people talks more about money. Okay, who else? Who else? I want to read what you guys have here. From your own experience, between rich people and poor people, who talks more about money? King Easy says poor people talk about wealthy people that have money. Okay. Faith says poor people talk about other people. Rich people talk. No, I'm not asking you to quote my quotes again to me. I'm just saying, from your experience, what do you notice, right? When you meet rich people, what do you notice, right? Do they talk a lot about money, right? When you meet poor people, do they talk more about money? Who talks more about money between the rich people you've met and the poor people you've met? Who talks more about money? From my experience, it's the poor. Each time I'm with friends who are not rich, they're the ones who talk more about money all the time. Oh, I want to be rich. Oh, I'm looking for money. Oh, if I can just get money. Oh, if I can just make it. Oh, if I can just, it's always about money. All I need is money. Oh, if I can just get more money. Oh, I have this bill to pay. Oh, it's poor people that keep talking about. You try and, going forward, just take notice of it. Just take notice of it. You will notice that. Right? Nowadays, how I know you're poor is that all the conversations about if I can just have more money, if I can just. When you're talking with wealthy people, it's just about ideas. Oh, we're trying to start a new power plant somewhere. Oh, we're building 200 units of housing somewhere. Oh, we're starting a new restaurant business. Oh, we're starting something. It's always about, when you're talking to wealthy people, it's always about a new service, a new product, a new investment opportunity, some new project. Because now they know that the only way to be richer is to offer some product, is to offer some services, is to sell something. That's the way to be rich. But the poor doesn't know that. So the poor is always obsessed about, I want more money. If I can just get more money. Oh, if I can just make money. Oh, touch. Are we learning? If you're learning type, I'm learning. Okay, guys, if you're learning type, I'm learning. So it's a major issue, right, where the poor is obsessed about more money. I want money. The rich, the wealthy is very focused on, hey, I need to provide a new service. I need to provide a new opportunity. I need to invest in some business. So they are constantly talking about new things they're trying to do because they know that's the only way to make money. So they don't waste their time just wishing to be rich, just wishing to have more money. They know that's not how you get rich. You only get rich by offering services, products, starting a new company, investing in something, having an early start. And so the conversation is about ideas. That's why we say ideas rule the world. Everybody type ideas rule the world. Okay, come on, type ideas rule the world. So back to our conversation today. You don't grow big to manage well. You manage well to grow big. So what's the third thing to manage? Okay, what's the third thing to manage? If you're going to grow big in your business, in your career, what's the third thing to manage? You manage, okay, the information that's come to you. Manage the information that come to you. Manage the information that come to you. In other words, you must figure out a way to block the noise, right? If you allow negative information your way all the time, you will never be able to build something great. So you have to manage the quality of information that comes to you, right? Those who work with me know there's just certain conversation you don't bring to my table, right? There's just certain information you cannot have with me. I don't like bad news, right? So you can't be around me and then all the time did you know Ukraine has just killed so number of Russians? Do you know Russian has just what? How does that add value to me? Okay, just don't bring bad news to me. I want to hear what you're doing. I guard the information that come to me. I manage the information that come to me, right? You have to be a master of information, right? If you're going to go far, if you're going to build something great, just certain information shouldn't come to you. It's simple as that, right? It's simple as that, because there's a lot of negativity on social media. There's a lot of negativity outside. In fact, I realized that my productivity is usually directly proportional to the kind of information I'm getting per time, right? Each time I feed myself with more positive, information, my productivity just naturally moves. You see, wealth is energy. People want to be rich but fail to realize that this thing is energy, right? You magnetize wealth. You don't work hard to be rich. You attract wealth, okay? You attract it by who you have become, by who you are, okay? By who you are. Who you are determines what you attract, right? You attract who you are. So how do you then evolve to become who you should be is by the quality of information you feed yourself. So some of us just are intentional about what we feed ourselves. We're intentional about the books we read. We're intentional about the movies we watch. We're intentional about the things we hear. We're just that intentional, okay? And it has helped many times. I used to have a client many years ago. This is about 9 years ago or so, and she pretty got close to me, and we talk often. And then one day she called me. Now I'm realizing maybe she had a mental health issue, and she called me and said, I'm sad today. I said, what happened? She said, somebody just died in my office. And she went on talking about the negativity of the death. And, I tried to console her. The Bible says that we should mourn with those that mourn, And then the next day again, she called me. And guess what she asked for me? Another person had died somewhere around her. Right? The third time, she called me again. Another person at that point, I said, hey, madam. I remember I said, if it's because you've done business with a company that I founded, go and tell them to refund you. Right? Because, and how many entrepreneurs are here? If you're a business owner, just type, I'm a business owner. That is, you don't have a job. You run a business. just type I'm a business owner. I want to give you a very important warning today. There should be a separation between you and the company you founded. And it's legal. There's a reason why today, okay, if somebody sues your company, you can choose not to even be present. Your lawyer is enough to represent, or any other staff can represent your company. Because the law says your company is a different legal entity from you. Unfortunately, many of us people of color, we don't separate our company from us. Right? Everything is the same. You run your company as if it's you. Everything has been merged and just doubled together. There's a difference between you and the company that you founded. And I just said to her, I said, this is because you did business with our company. Go tell them to give you your money back. Okay? Because first of all, that you did business with my company, a company I own, doesn't give you access to me. But there's a possibility that you chose to do business with our company because you want proximity to me. So go get your money back. But you can't keep telling me about people dying 3 days in a row. I am sorry. I guide what I hear. I manage the information, okay, that comes to me. There are gatekeepers whose job is to filter what comes to me. That's why any country I leave, the first thing I try to get is an executive assistant. The job of the executive assistant is a gatekeeper, right? He or she is to do gatekeeping job and make sure certain nonsense don't get their way to me. Are we learning, guys? If you're learning, type I'm learning. You must build your system that way. Certain nonsense shouldn't come to you. If you're going to grow big, manage what comes to you. Manage the information that gets to you. Manage it, ladies and gentlemen. Manage it. Manage it. Okay? Be careful what comes to you. Immediately call out any negative information that they are trying to bring to you. Are you aware that if you visit people who are sick too often, you also start feeling like falling sick? How many of you have noticed that? Right? If you visit too much burial, you start dreaming about death. Has anybody noticed that? Okay? Because everything you see, you hear, okay, goes into your spirit. It goes into your soul and influences your spirit. Okay? So the best way to keep your spirit alive and agile is to feed it with the right information. So manage the information that you get. Who can tell me the 3 things we said you should manage if you want to grow big? Because today's conversation, for those of you who are just joining, is simple. You don't grow big to manage well. You manage well to grow big. That's the conversation today. You don't grow big to manage well. You manage well to grow big. So who can repeat the 3 things you need to manage if you are going to grow big that I've shared today? Okay, I'm waiting for who will type it. Business Growth Conference in Houston is taking place from 23rd to 24th, Saturday and Sunday. It's taking place here in Houston, Texas. You can register to be part of it. People are traveling from all over the world to be part of it. You know, Dr. Cosmos Maduka is coming all the way from Nigeria to be part of it. He's going to be one of our keynote speakers. So go register right now on the website, www.businessgrowthconference.org. This is the Houston edition of the conference, and you want to go register right away. You want to go register right away for the conference, okay? Go do your registration. So yes, we want to mention the 3 things we ask you to manage. Manage your tongue, yes. Manage your relationship, yes. Number 2, what else? Who can type the 3 things. I told you to manage 3 things. If you want to grow big, you need to manage 3 things. Official Kenny Peters, you're right. Manage your tongue, manage your relationship, and then manage information. Those are the 3 things you must manage if you want to grow big. Because you don't grow big to manage well, you manage well to grow big. You first have to manage things well, then growth will come. Okay, but growth don't come before management. Management comes before growth. And so anywhere I go and I see that there's no growth in that place, the first conversation I have is management. I try to communicate. How do we manage better in this organization? How do we manage better? And these are some of the things you're going to be learning at the Business Growth Conference. How do you build an empire? How do you manage well? How do you run business in America and scale it to the next level? Okay? Or anywhere else in the world. And for those of you who are not in the US, or you're not in Canada, or you can't fly down from other parts of the world, it's okay. You can still join us virtually. There's an option for virtual participation. But if you know anyone in Houston, Texas generally, or anywhere in the US, tell them Dr. Stevens US conference is taking place, the businessgrowthconference.org. Let them go register right away, and they have to be there. It's a life-changing event. You go to the www.businessgrowthconference.org and you can register today. We're just 8 days to go, ladies and gentlemen. 8 days to go. So let's go. Right? Let's go. Let's make this one of the best conference ever. Okay, let's make it one of the best conference. And it's, for me, the last conference, for this year here in Houston, right, in the US. Every other thing, a workshop, there are smaller meetings. So I cannot wait to see you. So I'm going to take a few questions. I'm going to take maybe 2-3 questions before I get to my house. It's my morning walk today from Houston, okay? So any question, if you have questions, type your question. I'll take maybe 2 or 3 before I get back home. Any question? Let's see. Okay, I can see a Minister Winners B7 from Lagos, Nigeria. Welcome. Okay. So any question? If you have a question, feel free to type it. Let's go. What's your question? Any question? Any question? Who has a question? Okay. Yep. Thank you, every one of you who have been part of the show today. I've seen a lot of your comments. I've seen a lot of you engage. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for engaging and commenting and being part of today's conversation. I'm really hoping that you learn a lot from a lot of these conversations we always have. I hope it's something that really help. I say this often. Life is not a function of accumulation. Hello. It's a function of donation. Life is not a function of accumulation. It's a function of donation. Let me say it again. Life is not a function of accumulation. It's a function of your donation. So for me, it's always a privilege to donate. And what do I donate? I donate ideas. I donate, insight, wisdom that has helped me. That's what I donate. Elbovere, your name is a bit difficult to pronounce, is asking, how can I scale e-commerce in Africa? Simple. Get a board of very experienced people who have scaled businesses before. Let them become your board members. so that they can help guide you on how to scale that business. So set up a board. If you want to know how to set up a board, attend the Business Growth Conference, even if you're attending virtually. Those of you in Nigeria, you can attend virtually, and you will learn how to set up a board. So set up a board, grow your marketing, okay? Grow your marketing, raise funds internationally, okay? So structure your business, and that's why the structure is there, because international investors are not going to invest in your business if it's not well structured. Still going back to the conversation we're having today, which is you don't grow big to manage where, you manage where to grow big. So you need to structure the business in a way that international organizations want to invest. How do you scale? How do I scale my business in order to get other investors? Yeah, that's so. Chef, you're already hearing the answer to that. Okay, set up a board for your business, right? A board of credible people known in the society, people who have built their reputation in the society. Set up a board, okay? Because when those caliber of people are on your board, then people will be willing to invest. But those people will also be able to advise you on some of the structure you need to put in your business. You can't be running a one-man business and think anybody will invest in your business, no? Who is the head of finance? Who is the HR, right? Who is the marketing manager, okay? So people only invest in businesses that are structured. They don't invest in one-man business. So these are some of the things, and that's what we teach at the Business Growth Conference, right? We teach a lot of these things that many businesses haven't yet been structured to have. So you're able to learn a lot of these things and put them in place, and now you can be repositioned to begin to raise funds to grow your business. I hope that makes sense to you. Does it? Okay. Okie dokie. Thank you all. That's all I can take today. I love you. Don't forget, don't just go register on businessgrowthconference.org. Share the information. Share this video with as many business owners. People need to learn and hear about this. It's going to change their life forever.